يا ليلة القدر يا فضل بارنا خير من الدهر بالعفو تاتينا.
يا ليلة القدر يا فضل بارنا.
Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, and welcome to the daily Ramadan show where we discuss the daily du'as to be recited in this month. I'm your host Naya Parmar. So as usual, I will be reciting I'll start with the English translation of the dua, and then I will explain the dua. After we have understood it properly, I will recite it in its Arabic form, and you, the viewers, will follow. So remember, a dua is not just a way to ask for something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is actually a goal. It's supposed to be a goal, your ideal, a reminder for you to remember what you want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, as Allah has said, take one step toward me and I'll take 10 steps towards you. You have to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you really want to instill those values in your heart. So you make the first move and He'll help you out. Today, being the third day of Ramadan, we'll be discussing the third daily dua, which is, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on this day, please bestow on me sound mentality and wisdom, and take me away from foolishness and deception, and give me a share from the blessings, each goodness that you descend on this day, by your magnanimity, O the most magnanimous of all those who are magnanimous. So we start with the first line, O Allah, please bestow on me sound mentality and wisdom. What is sound mentality and wisdom? Sound mentality and wisdom are awareness and wisdom. So can you say that these two are blessings? Maybe. Now a blessing is, most people say that a blessing is rizq, and rizq is a provision, meaning something that you need, something that can meet your funds as in funds like water bills, electricity bills, etc. Now that means something that you need is a provision. We have two aspects. We have our body and we have our nafs, and we have our soul. Which one is more important? Our soul is more important. Our soul is more important, therefore its needs are more important than our bodily needs. Now, why is the soul more important than the body? Because when we die, our soul isn't going to detach itself from us. Our body is. So our body detaches from us and our soul comes with us. I mean, we are our soul. Therefore, it's not like you should just ignore your body needs. It's not like you should just keep yourself away from food, water, shelter, etc. But instead, you should prioritize, meaning that you should just know in your mind what is more important and what is less important. So now, what is awareness? Awareness, sound mentality, is when you know what's happening around you. Now, when you're asleep, you don't know what's happening around you. You cannot sense anything. You cannot taste. You cannot touch. You cannot hear anything. You cannot see anything, and neither can you smell anything. You cannot sense anything around you. But when you're awake, you know what's happening around you. You can smell everything. You can see everything, etc. So now, unless you have awareness, you cannot have the knowledge of how to react to these things. Like, if you don't know what's happening around you, how on earth are you supposed to react to it? When you're sleeping, if there's some danger, you cannot sense the danger, and so you cannot react to it. Now, the knowledge of knowing how to react in the best possible manner is wisdom. Wisdom is when you can find opportunities in every single thing and apply them, when you can use these opportunities to the best advantage. So in this month of Ramadan, take advantage of all these good opportunities. Okay, let's say you're fasting. You're fasting, you're bored, you come home from school, you don't have any homework, you don't have anything to do, and you look around your room searching for something to do, and your eyes pass over your shelf. On your shelf is sitting the Holy Quran, but there is no flicker of recognition in your eyes for that book. Why? The Holy Quran is the best possible thing to do. I mean, it's the best opportunity. You get so much sawab, and there's so much you can learn from that book. Isn't it the biggest opportunity? So if there's no flicker of recognition for the Holy Quran, is there even any wisdom? So in this line, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for some awareness and wisdom. Asking for wisdom allows you to be alert and look for opportunities in every single thing, as I just mentioned. And as Allah says in the Holy Quran, "Behold, in the creations of the heaven and of the earth, in the alternation of the night and the day, in sailing of the ships through the ocean for the profit of mankind, in the rain which God sends down from the skies, and the life which He gives therewith to an earth that is dead, in the beasts of all kinds that He scatters through the earth, in the change of the winds, and the clouds which they trail like their slaves between the sky and the earth. Here indeed are signs for people that are wise." Now, what Allah is saying here is that every single creation of His is a sign for us, is a sign for those people who are wise enough to ponder and reflect on them. And obviously, if you reflect on something that does not catch your attention much, you'll get some bits of information from it, and you'll probably get more wisdom. So this is the step you should take before expecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you that awareness and wisdom. The second line is, "And take me away from foolishness and deception." Foolishness and deception are the opposites of awareness and wisdom. So when we ask Allah to bring in us wisdom and awareness, we also ask Allah in the second line to take us away from the opposites. See, like I mentioned yesterday or day before yesterday, when you want to please someone, you cannot displease them at the same time. So what is foolishness? What is the biggest foolishness? Now, foolishness, one example of foolishness is when someone doesn't keep the hereafter in mind. But the biggest foolishness is when a person has all the opportunities right there and does not take advantage of it. The biggest foolishness is when he has the dua books, he has the knowledge of Islam, he has every single thing necessary to go to the right path, but he perishes in hell. This is the biggest foolishness. Foolishness is the opposite of wisdom, and they both contradict each other. So if you have wisdom, and you know everything about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you recognize the truth, and you still disobey Him, that is foolishness. There is no wisdom in that. Now, however impossible the statement may seem, it actually is true. Take the example of Shaitan, or Iblis as he was once called. Iblis was someone who recognized the truth. He knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the greatest, but he still rebelled against Him. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to prostrate toward Prophet Adam, Iblis, he disobeyed, and so he just, all his wisdom vanished. So and on the other hand, foolishness. Other examples of foolishness is when you are sick and you avoid a trip to the doctor. When you have money and you die of hunger. So now you understand what foolishness is. And you know that when there's foolishness, there's not even an ounce of wisdom. Now, on the other hand, deception. The biggest deception is that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you have all the opportunities, when you're wise and you have everything around you, but you are unsure. of whether following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's path would be a right choice or not. It is when you have doubts regarding the truth. Now, so here you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, please take away from me foolishness and deception." The third line is, "And give me a share from each goodness that you descend on this day." This line is very interesting, but we will discuss it after the short break.
ليلة القدر يا فضل بارنا. ليلة القدر يا فضل بارنا.
Welcome back to the Ramadan show. Until now, we have discussed the first two lines of today's daily dua. We have discussed, we talked about wisdom and awareness, and we also talked a bit about their opposites, foolishness and deception. Now, we're going to discuss the line I mentioned last, "And give me a share from the blessings you descend on this day." Now, one of the signs of a mu'min is that he constantly runs after good, as in good blessings, not material things. When you run after material things, they are temporary and they cause a lot of jealousy. Like, he has something I don't. Why does she have something I don't? Etc. Now, some people say that saying the same for blessings would also be as bad as being jealous for material things, but that's wrong. It's like when you compete for blessings, you're actually competing for something good and not temporary. See? And Allah has loads of mercy. It's not like He has limited mercy. So He doesn't mind giving it out like that. So if we compete for good instead of material things, we won't have many fights. So another very important point to realize about this getting a share of blessings is that one group of entities who constantly receive blessings, the only entities actually are the Ahlul Bayt. They constantly receive blessings. So obviously, if we follow their path and give our love to them, etc., we will also receive a share of the blessings given out to them. Now let's discuss the final line. By your magnanimity, O the most magnanimous of all those who are magnanimous. Allah is the most magnanimous. But what does magnanimity mean? According to the dictionary, a magnanimous person is one who is noble and generous. Allah is the most noble and generous in this world. Yeah, you don't see anyone as magnanimous in their nature as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Take an example of every one of us, we commit sins against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, does He react badly toward us? No, He does not. He still continues giving us blessings, giving us our needs, the things we need to survive. He doesn't just stop the world, does He? Now, if you were the one, now let's say, imagine you have been hurt by someone. Someone has hurt your feelings really badly. How would you react to him? Now compare how Allah reacts to you when you hurt Him by sinning against Him. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is truly the most magnanimous. And now that we understand the dua, I will recite in Arabic. Let's just review the points that in this dua. First, we spoke about awareness and wisdom, and how the things that the soul needs is a level higher than that which the body needs. And then we spoke about, in the second line, we spoke about foolishness and deception. The biggest foolishness is having all the opportunities and ignoring them. And then we spoke a bit about blessings in the third line, that the Ahlul Bayt are the entities who constantly receive blessings. So if we give our love to them, we'll also have a share of their blessings. And finally, in the fourth line, we spoke about magnanimity, how Allah is the most noble and generous of all, and how you would react to someone who hurt you, compared to how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would react if you hurt him. And now I'll recite the dua in Arabic. Please follow along. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma arzuqni fihi ad-dahna wat-tanbiyah وباعدني فيه من السفاهة والتمويه واجعل لي نصيبا من كل خير تنزل فيه بجودك يا أجود الأجودين. Thank you for watching the Ramadan show on IBN TV. May Allah grant us all tawfiq and strength to instill all the values we discussed today in our hearts. Ameen. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, with the next daily dua. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.